What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Arrival Entertainment, and I finally got a chance to see the movie The Card Counter. So let's talk about it. The Card Counter is directed by Paul Schrader, and it stars Oscar Isaac, Tiffany Haddish, and Ty Sheridan. And it tells the story of William Tell, played by Oscar Isaac, who is a gambler and an ex-military interrogator, and he is set out to reform this young man, played by Ty Sheridan, who is out for revenge on a former enemy of theirs from their past. That's all I'm going to say about the plot. The trailers for this movie really intrigued me. I like revenge movies. I like movies about gambling and poker. That stuff really interests me. So I was really looking forward to this movie, and I wanted to see it back when it first premiered, but it only got a limited release then, so I had to wait for my theater to get it in, and it finally got it in earlier this week. I saw the movie Tuesday of last week, and as of filming this, it's Sunday. So it took a while for me to finally sit down and talk about this movie, but I've gathered enough thoughts, and I really like this movie, looking back on it. It's a very artsy movie. In fact, I saw it with a friend of mine, and he's usually doesn't really care for artsy movies. I can't even say this movie's like super artsy. Like movies like Only God Forgives and I can't think of another one, but movies like Only God Forgives, those movies are like super artsy. This one has splashes of artsy material in it. So I can tell right off the bat that a normal audience moviegoer probably isn't going to care for this movie all that much. But as someone like me who likes to watch movies on a regular basis, likes to take a look at filmmaking aspects of movies, this movie was very intriguing, and I did really like this movie. Everyone who's seen this movie has mentioned Oscar Isaac's performance here, and yeah, it's really good. He sells every minute of screen time that he has in this movie. Whenever he's playing like a blank slate, like you don't know what's going on in his mind, he looks very intimidated. Some of his funnier moments, he's not really too funny in this movie, but he does have a couple lines here and there where you're like, yeah, that was kind of quippy right there. And his very intense moments. There is a scene in this movie with him and Ty Sheridan towards the end of the movie, and I literally looked at my friend and I'm like, I'm pretty scared. He's gonna do something bad. And it was, the intensity really built up, and I was just like, whew, Oscar Isaac, man. I've seen you in a lot of good things before, but this is probably his best performance he's ever done. I actually would like to see this performance nominated at the Oscars. All the other performances in the movie, however, are just fine. Nothing amazing, nothing Oscar-worthy like Oscar Isaac's performance, but they were just fine. Tiffany Haddish, she's weird in the movie. It's like she kind of fits, but doesn't at the same time. It's hard to explain. You have to see the movie to understand what I'm saying. But there was nothing bad about her performance. It was just fine. It did the job. She's a good actress. She sold her moments, but it wasn't like a big standout performance. Same thing with Ty Sheridan. It was good. He didn't blow me away. He wasn't amazing, but he did his job well. Also, Willem Dafoe is in this movie, and I didn't know that. I don't remember him in the trailers, but people have told me that, yeah, he is in the trailers. So it's not a spoiler for me saying he's in this movie. And he's not in the movie as much as you'd think he is. With a big name actor like Willem Dafoe in this movie, I was surprised that he maybe only had 5-ish minutes of screen time, maybe somewhere in between 5 and 6 and 7 minutes, something like that. It's a very small amount of screen time, but just like everyone else, he's fine in the movie. He doesn't give, like, again, an amazing performance, but he's good enough for the job that he's given. And a lot of people have mentioned that as negatives for this movie. They thought all the other performances felt completely flat or were pretty bad. I didn't think they were bad. I didn't think they fell flat. Like I said, they were just fine. They did the job good enough. What sold me on this movie and what made me want to watch the movie again when it comes out on Blu-ray is the way the movie is filmed. There's a lot of scenes that are just played out in wide shots. You know, even a simple scene with Oscar Isaac and Willem Dafoe talking together in a room. There's a big, large portion of that where it's just filmed in one shot. The camera slowly moves in on them talking. And I was just remember thinking to myself, if this was done by any other typical director, it would do just back and forth shots of them talking. I mean, that does happen later on in that scene and these other scenes that start off with wide shots, but having it start out with wide shots was a really good way to get at least my attention. You know, it's something that typical filmmakers don't really do anymore, especially with movies like this that don't have a lot of action, don't have a lot of big epic stuff. It's just a simple revenge story. There's a lot of wide shots in this movie, and that's something that people don't really do anymore. Directors don't do anymore. So seeing a lot of it in this movie, for me, it was very much appreciated. I don't need to see the camera cutting back and forth when it's just two people talking, and that's the normal way directors would film that scene. But again, wide shots, long takes, it made the difference for me in this movie. There were, however, some weird flashback moments in this movie that had like a fisheye lens look to it. It's hard to explain. It's a backstory showing Oscar Isaac and Willem Dafoe's past relationships and other things that I'm not going to get into that led to where Oscar Isaac and Willem Dafoe are in present time in the movie. And just the fisheye lens, that took me out of the movie a little bit. I'm not sure if it's meant to represent something that I didn't look into, but it did feel very weird. And there were a couple times where it was a bit distracting. Again, it's probably meant to represent something, but I didn't bother to look it up. It just felt a little weird for me, and it's probably going to feel weird to the general audience that goes to see this film. Now, I'm someone that really enjoys poker talk in movies. I like checking out movies about poker. I'll sometimes watch poker clips on YouTube. I love learning about it. I used to play it with some friends here and there back when I was younger. I don't anymore. But so seeing it in movies is very entertaining for me, and it was very entertaining and well handled in this movie. There's one scene in particular with Oscar Isaac and Ty Sheridan, and Oscar Isaac's talking about the perfect poker hand, and I'm not going to say what he says in the movie, but it was just so interesting just listening to him mention this perfect poker hand that went on in the movie. And there were some poker moments here and there in the movie where me and my friend were just kind of watching it, and we're just like, oh, I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna do this, and then he did that, and it's like, ooh, that other person messed up their poker hand or something like that. And it just watching Oscar Isaac laser focused on the poker games in this movie. As someone that enjoys poker, that was really interesting to see, and that was one of the better handled parts of the movie. Now, this movie does get some very intense moments in this movie, and it was all well handled, especially the ending. I'm not going to give away the ending. I will say that some people were kind of split on how the movie concluded. I was fine with it. It was leading up to it that was the most interesting part to me, and the most satisfying part, I guess I want to say, especially the way it was filmed. And so keep in mind when you go into this movie, the ending is going to be a little 50-50. You're either going to be with it or not with it. I was with it for the most part. I guess it's the last shot of the movie that was weird and interesting. Again, this movie has a lot of artsy moments in the movie, and the last shot of the movie was definitely one of those moments. Again, I don't know if it's supposed to represent something. I didn't look into it. It was just something that I just noticed. It was an odd shot to end the movie on, unless I'm missing something, but I don't know. Overall, guys, I really enjoyed The Card Counter. I thought it was a very entertaining revenge movie. I thought it was well filmed, well acted for the most part, had a lot of great intensity, had a lot of great lines of dialogue that were just super intriguing to me. And I do recommend this movie if you're someone that does like this type of movie. If you're someone that was hoping for a little more action in this movie, then this movie's not quite for you. If you're someone that doesn't like artsy elements in these types of movies, then this movie's not going to be for you. But if you don't care about that and you're willing to roll with the punches, then yeah, I absolutely recommend The Card Counter. And I think it's worth picking up on Blu-ray. I definitely want to watch this movie again when it comes out on Blu-ray, and like I said, I do recommend the movie if it sounds like this is the type of movie for you. Again, if it's not, then don't bother. You're probably not going to like it. So that's my review for The Card Counter. Just like always, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the film if you've seen it down in the comment section. And what's your favorite poker movie? For me, it has to be Casino Royale. That movie is just too perfect for me to not recommend when it comes to poker movies or action movies. So whatever your thoughts on everything is, let me know down in the comment section. Just like always, guys, thank you as always for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and share it. Subscribe right here if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, take care.